Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 in a series between MMA versus Dimaga here on Shakura's Plateau. These players currently have, or Dimaga currently has a 1-0 lead in this series as an Overlord now making its way across the map here. Now, Overlord making its way across, and we'll see what the strategies will be since this is going to be closer by air spawns than the full cross spawn positions. Now, we may see some early expansions come in. Dimaga does know that he can perhaps establish a hatchery down over here, perhaps a 15 hatch as opposed to a 16, just because MMA has a fairly good idea where exactly Dimaga has spawned, and early pressure could come down with some proxy barracks. Supply depots are being placed down as well, and we'll see if MMA uses that Reaper opening that we saw in a previous matchup. I would normally say that if he goes for a Reaper expansion, it worked out well because a barracks could be placed down here, and then the tech lab could be used in order to finish off the wall in, making it so that you do not need to build that additional supply depot nearly as quickly. With that additional supply depot not needing to be done, where we'll see where this SCV goes. SCV, going to do a low ground barracks instead. So perhaps he is trying to feign that he is going for a proxy racks, as we now see a drone making its way over. So the barracks is being placed off over here. Command center is still training up more SCVs. We don't see any gas yet, so we may see that gasless expansion coming in once more by MMA. MMA with that gasless expansion most likely will just continue to build this barracks here and then build a command center around 17 or 18 here. Once that command center is done, perhaps get that double refineries and look to perhaps set up a bunker here in order to fend off what may be a Zerg rush. Drone simply sneaking by, doesn't spot the barracks though, as now the drone going to sneak in off over here. He's going to look around on the inside of this base for any barracks, and he doesn't spot it. This is really bad news for Dimaga. Dimaga, what is he going to do with this drone? No, he knows very well where the other place is common to look, quickly scouts it out, and now that drone knows that there is no proxy barracks in play. Command center looks like it will be established down over here on this choke point. MMA looking to not expand inside his own base, but at the natural expansion. So this is going to be a little bit risky, as Dimaga could lay down a lot of early pressure with perhaps Zerglings and Roaches until some bunkers are established. SCV is still making their rounds, gonna now try to steal some of those minerals, will be able to do exactly that, and now continue to make his way throughout this map. SCV is still wandering. It looks as though the drones are going to be transferred to the low ground there, as we now see the command center about halfway completed. We can see the double gas now coming in from MMA, looking to perhaps catch up and go into Reactor Hellions. That was his strategy in Game 1 on Tal'Darim Altar, so we'll see if he really tries to do anything different in Game 2. As a Marine now makes its way over, that one drone will be able to slip away ever so easily, as now an SCV holds that top Zelnaga tower as well. Marines now all gathering together over here. It looks as though we are going to be going into a factory, and then as soon as that barracks has 50 gas, it will try to add on a reactor. Don't make me a liar. Okay, apparently it did make me a liar. I thought he was going to go for the Reactor Hellion opening, and he is just a little bit delayed there, as the Marines are now retreating back home. A Zergling now trying to make its way in is not going to be able to scout anything, and that's going to be bad news for Dimaga. Dimaga doesn't know what his opponent is doing. He could have a fairly good idea or guess, but it's going to force him to really try to make a lot more defensive units, as the Zerglings, the Zergling natural regeneration, enabling that Zergling to stay alive, and it looks like a drone will grow up to be a hatchery at the 9 o'clock expansion location here. Marines now jumping inside that bunker. MMA with 30 over 38 food compared to 45 over 52. Dimaga currently with a heavy harvester advantage, 32 compared to 27, but there is no macro hatch coming in from Dimaga. Dimaga in Game 1 on Tal'Darim Altar had a macro hatch inside his main base, able to train up a lot more drones and just run off of a better economy. So the supply depots have been established here. It looks as though the supply depots are just being used as scouts, as Zerglings are now looking to make their way perhaps across the field. There are 2 Hellions currently in play, and now we are going into a starport. So starport now being added in addition to another command center. So MMA opting to go for another command center as the Hellions now attempting to run away from those Zerglings. The Hellions look like they will be able to back off just enough and now perhaps get repaired as well. Command center about to be completed, and now we are going into, is this Banshees or Raven? This would be a rather strange choice now. We can see that Banshees are being trained, and now we are going into Cloak, and this is no Banshee rush by any means. Doing Banshees after your command center, an orbital command after a gasless expansion attempt, and we'll see how it works out. The hatchery currently sitting at tier 1.5 essentially, but that means that Overseers will come out in just a moment. Hellions now making their way in. How much damage are they going to do as they're able to take down a couple of these creep tumors? One creep tumor does go down as the Hellions do back off, perhaps going to get even more damage. 6 Hellions, 5 Hellions, 4 Hellions, as the Zerglings were able to get off a good surround here, and they do not want to engage on creep. Banshee, the first Banshee is out. Second Banshee now being trained. We'll see where it goes or what happens to it, as we are now getting or we're now about 40 seconds away from Cloak finished being researched. Also going into the vehicle weapon upgrades, so it looks like we are going to be going into heavy Hellions or perhaps even Thors and siege tanks. Heavy factories now being placed down. We are going to be going into a triple racks as a new tech lab being established here. So perhaps after this starport is done getting Cloak, it is going to land, take the reactor, and then try and double train up medevacs for this Terran biomech play, which is so standard. We'll see. Yes, no, starport now lifting off, going to be landing off over here. 2 unused add-ons as a new tech lab now being built as well. And what is all of this doing? Factory now going to land off over here, another factory, and now, okay, it looks like we are going to be going into perhaps siege tanks or blue flame tech. Level 1 weapons upgrade, meaning that the Hellions with blue flame tech can 2-shot and roast drones. Currently, MMA sitting on a lot, and I do repeat, a lot of minerals right now, but he does have a very good mineral dump and also training up a Thor as well. So a lot of Thors being trained. Hellions in the center of the map. That blue flame tech, Infernal Pre-Igniter, about 80 seconds away from, or 90 seconds away from being completed. The Banshees got 1 kill and only 1 kill, so that wasn't altogether that useful. If the Banshees were able to perhaps deal some damage to these Banelings, yeah, 1 Baneling down, 2 Banelings down, this is actually worth it, as the Banshees taking down Banelings are easy free targets. Banelings are now all trying to run away, but drones are now going to be the free target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, 5. All 5 drones have been destroyed here, as now an Overseer finally being morphed in, but there is still no Queen. It looks like the Banshees, could have taken down another Baneling there, but the Baneling was not detonated. Hellion still sitting in the center, as we are now going into more and more Thors. So we are double training Thors, double training up Hellions, and also getting up another command center as well. MMA could easily double expand, as those Banshees are now trying to run away from those Mutalisks. Are they going to be able to get away is the key question, and it looks like they will be able to do exactly that, as there are Thors down in position as well to offer some protection. More Hellions being added, 2 more Thors for a total of 4, and it will be Hellions against the Zerglings and Thors against the Mutalisks. We'll see whether or not that is going to be successful. Currently 4 Thors, very, very dangerous. SCVs are on auto repair. Banshee will get cleaned up, and 1 Mutalisk taking a little bit of damage there, but an SCV was able to survive. Now we can see that there are a lot of Hellions in the center. There are Zerglings and Banelings off over here as well. We'll see what these units are going to do. 1 Changeling making its way out, but quickly gets torched by the blue flame tech of those Hellions. Thor is now making their way out across the field. The Hellions deal 21 damage per attack. The drones only have 1 armor, not 2. So it looks as though they will get 2-shotted unless natural regeneration comes in. Zerglings getting destroyed over here as the Mutalisks do not want to engage. And by the time that they will be able to push in, it looks as though the missile turrets will be done. A large group of Hellions now trying to push in, taking out a lot of those Zerglings. Hellions now need to be careful, run away from all of those Banelings, and the Banelings detonating themselves on top of the Thors. Not a good trade at all. SCV is now coming over to repair. It looks like the Thors will be able to finish off all of these hatcheries. Banelings and Zerglings all getting toasted here. More Banelings getting destroyed. And this is a strategy that I sometimes very rarely like to use, but it is working out well as the SCVs are now taking down all of these Thors. The Hellions are going to finish off even more units, as well as the Hellions coming in. Zerglings all going to get toasted here, and this may be the GG, as 4 Thors completely going unchecked now, and now even 2 more Thors being added into this play as well. And there is Dimaga with the GG. There you go. So Dimaga losing game 2 in what I believe is to be a best of 3 series. There is a game 4, but it is exactly the same replay as game 3. So I'm not 100% sure. I'll probably be game 3. So I will just be moving to straight game 4, as game 3 was kind of curious. It didn't look right, and I don't believe two people playing on the same map with the same length is possible in a tournament. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.